But let's talk about Jakobi Meyers.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty solid free agent signing when you look at the length of the contract, the money on the contract, that performance that you're getting out of Jakobi Meyers. I think that he is well equipped to play that kind of number two role. If he's your best receiver, you're probably not dynamic enough offensively. You don't have enough of a threat at your number one spot. But if he's your number two opposite Devontae Adams, you're in pretty good shape, especially with some of the options that the Raiders have in the slot. I think that you have someone who clearly knows the offensive system. He played for Josh McDaniels every year in New England up until last year. So he has that kind of connection. I don't think him and Jimmy Garoppolo played together at all in New England, but again, Garoppolo knows the system. He knows the system. Should be a pretty smooth transition there. And by all accounts, you get the guy who's coming from that Patriots infrastructure. You know, he's a professional, going to come in, do his job, and you're not going to have to worry about him from that aspect. So I think it's a really good fit, at least on paper. Checks all the boxes for the Raiders.
I want to ask you about Colton Miller. And obviously, I'm leaving a big name out of here. We're going to get to Hunter Renfrow in a minute, but let's talk about Colton Miller, another building block, one of the best left tackles in all of NFL. Zero issues, nothing. The guy's a hard worker. He makes people around him better, like we talked about with Devontae. This is a guy, you put him out on the left side, you don't worry about him, you just let him go. This is a guy who's so good that I think he gets overlooked a lot. And that happens a lot with offensive linemen. But another building block, let's talk about this guy right here, Colton Miller.
Well, there's a couple of positions where you really want to have when you're building a team, you want to have solidified, and one of them is left tackle. And the Raiders have that with Colton Miller. You know, I remember when they drafted him, there were some eyebrows raised that they did it a little too early. They reached for him, but it ended up, it worked out well. John Gruden uh, and Mayock, they were around for that pick. They hit a home run there with Miller. And you look at their offensive line besides him, I think the Raiders are hoping that Dylan Parham becomes a continues to grow into a building block next to him at left guard. They have some new bodies up there. They signed Alex Bars. Um, they're trying to sort out those other spots, but it's a lot easier to sort out your offensive line and plan when you have the key position taken care of like they do.